Hello students. Today let us study the next topic of physiology, that is excretion. There are various metabolic activities which takes place inside the living organisms. These metabolic activities leads to formation of waste products such as carbon dioxide and some of the nitrogenous waste products. These needs to be removed from the body immediately so that the toxicity should not be allowed inside the body. The process of elimination of these waste products is called as excretion. The main excretory products among animal kingdom are ammonia, urea, uric acid, and other nitrogenous waste products which are less important. When we see excretion, there are several methods which are present in different group of animals to solve this purpose. When we see the process of excretion in invertebrates, then we will find that many structures are present in different organisms for the purpose of removal of waste. Not only this, the process of osmoregulation means removal of extra water also takes place along with excretion. Particularly in aquatic organisms, this process is very important. Regulation of water inside the body. Say for example, amoeba is a member of phylum Protozoa. Amoeba primarily resides in fresh water. This is suppose the body of amoeba, this is nucleus. So water from outside continuously enters in the body of amoeba due to osmosis, and it has to be removed from the body immediately, and this purpose of removal of water in amoeba is served by contractile vacuoles. Means contractile vacuoles, these are the structures present among protozoans, specifically freshwater protozoans. This is not found in the marine protozoans. The process of coming water inside the body of protozoan is called as endosmosis. And the excess water, surplus water, is discharged in the surrounding medium along with the waste product by contractile vacuoles, which are continuously formed and deformed. Contractile vacuole formation and deformation is an active process. It requires presence of energy, which is derived from mitochondria. So whenever there is a contractile vacuole in formation, several mitochondria they surround and they serve the process of supplying energy to this forming contractile vacuole. And as this vacuole attains the full size, this is discharged from the body like this. And water along with waste products they are removed. At the same time, a new CV starts forming inside the body of amoeba. So this process goes on in amoeba. Suppose we discuss the process of excretion in some other invertebrate group, that is platyhelminthes, means flatworms. There are specialized cells. These are multicellular animals, and the specialized cells present inside the body of platyhelminthes members. They are known as flame cells. They collect the excretory material from the body cavity and send it outside the body surface by the process of osmosis. Basically, these worms are commonly known as flatworms, where the main excretory product again is ammonia. So most of the time it is diffused out rather. You say next group Annelida, which includes animals with annulus, means rings. For example, earthworm. These worms have a segmented body, and these segments are known as metameres. When we see the body of earthworm from outside, it looks segmented. Same is true for leech and other annelids. When we study the process of elimination of waste in annelids, again the main excretory product, that is ammonia, it is being removed from general body surface through specialized group of nephridia. Nephridia are the main excretory structures present inside the body of annelids. Presence of nephridia in different body parts. The body of earthworm is divisible into three parts, that is clitellar, preclitellar and postclitellar part. But when we say the distribution of nephridia, they are present throughout the body, but when they are present at the septum, so they are called as septal nephridia. On each septum. Whenever they are present and opens on the body surface in the inner side of the skin, then they are known as integumentary nephridia. And third type of nephridia, which are present in the pharyngeal region, they are known as pharyngeal nephridia. So these are the main excretory organs in earthworm. If we say the excretory organs among arthropods, so in arthropods we have got variety of excretory organs based on the habitat where the animal lives. For example, in king crab, in scorpion, as well as in insects, the main excretory products are different. In aquatic animals, it is nevertheless ammonia, which is diffused out through the general body surface. But in king crab and scorpion, the main excretory product is guanine. It is excreted in the form of crystals, guanine crystals. And the excretory organs which are responsible for removing these waste products, they are coxal glands. Coxal glands are present on the coxa part of their legs. In insects, it is specialized Malpighian tubules which removes the waste from the body cavity. Malpighian tubules. They are responsible for removal of waste from the body. For example, in cockroach. Coming to advanced type of excretion, directly I am coming to excretory product as well as method of excretion along with the structure in human beings. As a result of various metabolic processes going on in our body, a number of waste products are formed. These have to be eliminated just as we have discussed in invertebrates because they are toxic. These waste products are number one, carbon dioxide. It is formed in the tissues where metabolic activities are going on. As a result of this, CO2 is eliminated. It is removed through lungs. It is transported to the lungs via blood, and oxygen is carried along with the blood, and it is again redistributed throughout the tissues, and this cycle goes on. Means oxygen is distributed and carbon dioxide is collected at the tissue level, and again CO2 is eliminated from the lungs. The second category of waste in human beings, that is more important, commonly known as nitrogenous metabolic waste. Nitrogenous metabolic waste are mainly urea. It is formed in the liver when two excretory products, that is ammonia and carbon dioxide, unites. It is formed as a result of a special cycle known as ornithine cycle, which takes place in the liver. The third and important excretory products, they are bile pigments. You know, red blood corpuscles, they are destroyed after 120 days, and they reaches to either spleen for their final degradation or in the Kupffer cells in liver. These are the specialized tissues which are responsible for degradation of RBCs. As you know, RBC contains hemoglobin, and the uh, part of the hemoglobin are iron and globin protein. So iron is retained, it is not excreted or removed from the body, whereas globin protein is broken down into two waste products. One is bilirubin, another is biliverdin. So bilirubin and biliverdin, they are harmful to the body. They have to be removed, and again they are removed from liver via kidneys. Specialized excretory organs are present inside our body. They are known as a pair of kidneys. You know, we have got excretory organs which can be counted as lungs, which can be counted as liver, which can be counted as skin. But the main excretory organs are nevertheless a pair of kidneys. Let us discuss one by one. Apart from kidney, as I told, it is lungs where carbon dioxide is removed and oxygen is taken in just by the process of diffusion. Because it, carbon dioxide is a toxic gas. It has to be removed and it travels from tissues to heart via blood, and from heart it goes to lungs. And in the alveoli, the exchange takes place. Some amount of other gases they also comes in along with the air taken in, but the main gas is oxygen, which is required for our body. Skin also serves as a purpose of excretory organ, particularly in the season of summer. We all know that sweat glands are present on the skin, which removes the waste product along with water, commonly known as sweat. It is mainly responsible for temperature regulation of the body in the season of summer. It keeps our body cool. Some amount of dissolved salts and traces of urea and uric acid also diffuses from the thin walls of the capillaries, but it is insignificant. Sweat contains about 99% of water. Rest are miscellaneous salts. Let us discuss directly that the human excretory system. This system comprises of a pair of kidneys, number one. Number two, a pair of ureters, which removes urine from the kidneys. Number three, urinary bladder, which collects urine and stores for some time. It leads to a tube called urethra, and from urethra the urine is excreted from the body. Let us see the structure of the excretory system. This diagram shows a pair of kidneys. This is the complete kidney. These are adrenal glands which are responsible for endocrine control of the body. This is our right kidney. This is left kidney. This is right kidney. Now we can see this blue colored blood vessels, and this is a red colored blood vessel. This is known as renal artery, red one, and this is blue one is known as renal artery, and the red one is known as renal vein. So the purpose of renal artery is to bring the blood with very high pressure inside the kidney, and the purpose or the function of renal vein is to remove the blood which is purified in the kidneys. So these are the function of both renal vein as well as renal artery. When we see the internal structure of the kidney, there are specialized part. The part from where the urinary this renal pelvis, this pelvis part is one part from where the ureter are coming out. This part, which is the innermost part, is known as medullary part, and the outer part is known as cortex part. Coming back to the original diagram, renal pelvis leads to a pair of ureter. These are ureters. This is from right kidney and this ureter is from left kidney. Both these ureters brings the urine from kidneys to the urinary bladder. Urine is collected in the highly distensible structure called as urinary bladder. It is a conical structure. This bladder leads to urethra. The name is not mentioned over there. I have written urethra. So the kidney itself is divisible into two parts: outer cortex and inner medullary part. The part of kidney which is inside is further divided into the pyramidal shaped cones known as renal column of Bertini, and these are small size nephrons present inside the kidney, which we can see in detail here in this diagram. Nephron. What is nephron? It is a structural and functional unit of kidney. There are about 10 million nephrons present in each kidney. They are structural and functional unit of kidney. So when we see the kidney as a structure, this is surrounded by a tough fibrous connective tissue. Outer part is cortex and inner part is medulla. The structural and functional unit nephron can be also seen over here. You see, one blood vessel is bringing blood to the nephron and another blood vessel which is collecting this blood away from nephron. So the blood vessel which brings blood to the nephron is called as efferent arteriole, and the blood vessel which removes the blood from the nephron is known as efferent arteriole. When efferent arteriole brings the blood to the nephron, the structure which receives is called as glomerulus. What is glomerulus? It is a network of blood capillaries, very thin walled capillaries, and the surrounding structure which surrounds these glomerulus is Bowman's capsule. This cup shaped structure is known as Bowman's capsule. So, glomerulus along with Bowman's capsule is known as Malpighian corpuscle. Malpighian corpuscle. We can see this nephron in detail. See, this is another diagram of kidney which discusses these are the renal calyces. These are ureters coming out. This is the outer part, cortex. This is inner part, medulla. This is the renal pelvis. These are the renal calyces from where this ureter ultimately emerges out. So, if we see the individual nephron, we can draw a diagram for our own understanding that this is, say, for example, it is a part of afferent blood vessel, and the blood vessel which carries blood away is known as efferent blood vessel. This is known as afferent blood vessel. Presently, we are discussing the structure of nephron. This is the initial part. It is a broader one which leads to a narrow part. It is later on forms a U-shaped tube, a loop. It is again, dilated in a broader tube in this form. Just for our understanding, we are drawing this diagram just to know the different parts of the nephron, that how it is present. This initial part, this is known as Bowman's capsule. The network present here is called as glomerulus, and these two structures are collectively known as Malpighian corpuscle. And the initial part of this nephron is called as proximal convoluted tubule. The distal part is known as loop of Henle, and this part is known as distal convoluted tubule. There are different distal convoluted tubules from different nephrons which unites in the collecting duct, and this collecting duct collects the urine and sent to the ureter. So this is just an outline of nephron, which is structural and functional unit of the kidney. When we study this nephron in detail, we will find that their entire wall of nephron is single cell thick, and it is permeable for certain substances and impermeable for certain other substances. Loop of Henle, the main function of loop of Henle is to collect water, means indirectly conservation of water in the body. When we study the desert animals which conserve a lot of water, there the size of loop of Henle is very large because already water is available in scarcity and they have to conserve it, and this part of nephron collects the water. It does not allow wastage of water. Similarly, the distal part, it is also responsible for collection of or reabsorption of trace elements like calcium, sodium, potassium, maintaining the balance, and this proximal part is responsible for absorption of amino acid, absorption of glucose and other ions, chloride ions and all. In total, we can say that different part of the nephron performs different functions. Let us study how this nephron works. Main function of nephron is to remove waste, and in our body the main excretory product is urea, which is removed along with some amount of water, some salts in minute quantities. The process of urine formation can be divided in three steps in a broad way. One is known as glomerular filtration or ultrafiltration. The next step is known as tubular reabsorption, Third process is known as tubular secretion. We will study the details in our next lecture about these processes.